Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Ajwritescrypto, and welcome to No Sweat Bets. No Sweat Bets is a show where I talk about my sports betting picks, general picks on Polymarket, what I think's a good, what I'm leaning toward. If you don't know, I've made over $200,000 in 2025. It's only May 21st right now. In 2025, I made over $200,000 betting on Polymarket. And now I have a weekly segment every week where I am showing you publicly the things I'm looking at, the things I'm betting on. And lately, you guys might already know that I have been on Twitter before the games during the NBA playoffs. I have been posting my setups before every single game during the playoffs. All right. And we've been on a pretty sick run. We've been on a pretty sick one. This one from last night, I put 10.2K down on the Thunder to win 13.9. All right, about I roughly $4,000, about 3,700, 3,800. Actually, to be honest, I know that's a lot of exposure, a big exposure bet to to win $3,700. But in that situation, I know that the Timberwolves are strong against the spread. They did show up in the first quarter, but I 100% knew that the Thunder was going to win at home, regardless of the difference between rest with the teams. It was obvious that the Thunder was going to win, and it's obvious to me that I think the Thunder is going to continue to win. I think the Thunder is going to beat the Wolves to get in to the finals. And now tonight is the first game for the Knicks and the Pacers. I personally think that if the Knicks go on to play OKC in the finals, OKC will win the championship. But I think if the Pacers go on in the finals, I think the Pacers could beat OKC. I am a little weary about this. I mean, obviously, if you look at Polymarket, let's pull up Polymarket NBA championship. I did buy my shares for the Pacers here at around 3%, and then I at 3 cents, and then I bought more shares around 7 cents. Right now, these shares are at 10 cents. I could take the money right now and get out, and that's the beauty of betting on Polymarket, is that it's different than if you were to go to a normal sports book, right? Because if you go to Vegas and put a bet in, win or lose, you only get the money if you win, and you don't get the money if you lose. But on Polymarket, you buy shares. Think of it like a crypto coin going up and down. And if I buy my shares for the Pacers to win the playoffs at 3 cents, and then they win a couple games and those shares go to 10 cents, well, you more than doubled your money. And that is the beauty of Polymarket. The game does not have to end for you to take your money off the table. You can take your money off the table at any point during the game if your shares go up or down. That is the beauty here. So overall, obviously Vegas and Polymarket heavily believe that Thunder is going to win the NBA championship. And personally, I am not really looking to click buy no here. If anything, I would click buy yes here and side with Vegas like I did last night. I know my bet last night, sometimes you have to overexpose yourself to side with Vegas, but sometimes there's a reason you don't like to always bet against the house, because 9 times out of 10, that's how they built the house. Okay, so you do want to consider that as we go into the NBA finals. But right now, I think betting no on the Timberwolves, although that would be a heavy exposure bet, I think the Wolves don't have a chance to win the championship. And I'm leaning towards Thunder, but if the Pacers continue, if the Pacers beat the Knicks, I think they have a shot, although it's a long shot according to the odds on Polymarket. So continuing to my bet tonight, let me click out here. All right, so tonight I went against the odds. I'm going against Las Vegas. I am betting on the Pacers. The Knicks are playing at home. I'm surprised the odds are, I'm surprised I'm allowed to buy Pacer shares at 38 cents. I'm beside myself that I can buy Pacer shares at 38 cents right now, because they're 4-1 on the road during the 2025 NBA playoffs. 4-1 on the road. That is absolutely insane. So to put the profits I made last night onto the against Vegas bet tonight, I don't hate it. I don't hate this. Honestly, am I thinking if the shares go up during the game, maybe if these shares go to 55, 60 cents, scalp a couple thousand, if my $4,000 here grows to 6,000, 7,000, maybe pull the plug. It is something I'll consider during the game. That's kind of an in the moment thing. But if you're in my Telegram group, I will let you guys know what I do. But if the Pacers win game 1 tonight, and remember, I'm doing this for every single NBA playoff game for the rest of the year, I'm doing a tweet with my bet publicly, and if my bet is correct, someone who likes the post will win $200 for every game for the rest of the playoffs. That is what we're doing, and big shout out to Polymarket for sponsoring this channel. And guys, keep in mind that this no sweat bet segment goes beyond basketball. This is just where it started, basketball. But I absolutely love all the things you can bet on in Polymarket. It's a beautiful thing. You can bet on any sports. You can bet on the will Hamas and Israel ceasefire? What will Jerome Powell and the Fed do in June? Will Putin meet with Zelensky? How many times will Elon Musk tweet? It's beautiful. All the things you can bet on in Polymarket. You can basically bet on the weather tomorrow. All right. And one of the bets that I'm looking at that I'm most intrigued by is the Poland presidential election. Hear me out if you're scratching your head right now. I think with over $71 million in volume, 71 million in volume, this is enticing. So, why would this matter? So right now, Raphael Trzaskowski is basically a pick'em, 50-50 almost, against Carol Nalrockle. I'm pretty sure I butchered those names, but let's talk about what happens here. So Poland runs what they call a runoff election. And a runoff election is when you have an election, and if one person gets 50% of the votes, they win. But in the first election, our guy Raphael, he got 25.9%. No, excuse me. He got 31.3%, as Carol got 29.5% of the vote. So neither of them gained that 50% that they needed to win the presidency. But what happened is that since they kind of separated themselves from the pack, all these other names are eliminated from, it's called a runoff. So all those names ran off, and now it's literally a one versus one between Raphael and Carl. All right, and it's really interesting. If you look at the odds, this blue line up here is Raphael. All right, and as you can see, at one point in time, Raphael, I'm not sure which one it is. Raphael's odds were at 83% to win, and Carol's odds were only 14%. But after the first runoff election, they came to about even. So now I'm thinking, hey, does Carol have a shot to win the Poland presidential election? And here's the thing, is that you got to remember, although Carol's running as an independent, this is, basically the right wing, the conservative party. And what you have to understand, other far right candidates such as Slomar Metzen and Gregzor Baran, collectively, they gained 21% of the vote in the first round. Remember, our guy Carol here won 29.5% of the vote in the first round. So if all the far right voters mobilize and come to Carol's side, that would be 50.5%, which is more than 50%. So really, the outcome of this election is if the other candidates can mobilize their voters to the correct party. If the right wingers that voted on Slomar and Gregzor say, all right, let's go vote for Carol, if that happens, Carol has 50.5%, but will that happen? And also Raphael, is kind of has support from the center and left wing in Poland. That would be a continuation of the status quo in current Poland politics. Raphael winning would be more of the same in Poland. So does Poland want a drastic, more conservative change, or do they want more of the same? That we will find out on June 1st is when the runoff election will happen. This is a very, very close race. According to the odds, Raphael is still the better bet here. Although Raphael, if you look at the Polygon line, Raphael started at 57%, 78%. Through December, January, February, March, April, 83%, 85%. Raphael has been projected to win this election on Polymarket from the beginning, but now the runoff election is over and it is currently a 52-49% race. Honestly, honestly, I want to bet Carol because politically I do align with the conservative party. I did vote for Donald Trump. There's no qualm. There's no shame in my game. I want Carol to win, but I am going to put a small bet on Rafael. I do feel that more of the same is likely. He's had the lead statistically from the beginning, and it would be insane for him to lose it at the very end in the last runoff election. So, guys, we just talked Poland politics here for the past 5 minutes. But hey, that is the beauty of Polymarket. That's why I like No Sweat Bets so much. We can talk basketball, Poland politics, crypto prices, or how many times Elon Musk is going to tweet. That is the beauty of Polymarket. Thank you to them for sponsoring this channel. And I want to know down below in the comments, what do you guys want me to talk about? Is there any certain bets on Polymarket you want my opinion on, or anything like that, like with sports, or what you want more of? No Sweat Bets is now a weekly segment on AJ Writes Crypto, and I'm very proud to do that. We've already made $200,000 betting on Polymarket this year. The goal is to make it to $1 million this year. That is the goal. I hope you guys stick around for me to do it. I'll see you next week on Wednesday for No Sweat Bets. Have a safe rest of your day. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, get rich or get wrecked. Peace. Boom, boom, boom.